live stream should be up here. Oh, there we go. All right, guys. So welcome back from your 5-day break. A couple of things that I want to make sure you guys know. So we've only done 3 sections. We do have school Monday, yes. So there's a couple of things that we need to talk about. So we've only covered 3 sections so far this trimester, so we're going to have a midterm on that. So there's only 3 things: solved by graphing, solved by substitution, and solved by elimination, right? So this was all systems of equations. So at the end of class today, you're going to have your midterm posted. So your midterm is going to be a Google Forms, which is a lot like Big Ideas. It's more like Big Ideas than Desmos is, in the sense that when you're done with everything, you have to hit submit. So just a couple of things about Google Forms. If you guys haven't taken a Google Forms exam yet, just make sure you guys answer everything before you submit. If you have any technical issues, you can write me an email and do that, okay? So just to be super clear, I have a couple more people just joining, so thank you guys for joining. We have at the end of class, your midterm will be available, and you guys will have until Monday to get your midterm done. So you have the rest of today, you have tomorrow, you have Saturday, you have Sunday, and then it is due Monday at the start of class, okay? And if there's issues that come up, then you guys can email me and we can resolve those issues. It's a really short test, guys. It's like, I think it's like four or 5 questions. So it's like an assignment. So like really, it's just like having an assignment, like just like we would any other assignment, and it's an exam. And remember, exams are only worth 10% of your grade. So it's basically, have you learned what we've been going on with 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. So it's really not a big deal. It's 4 to 5 questions, and again, it's like the same format that you would do on Google. On Big Ideas. Okay. So again, this is due Monday. Of course, I'll send out reminders, right? So this is due Monday. It will be posted to Google Classroom. Due Monday by class. What was I saying? Yeah, it's on Google. It'll be on Google Classroom at the end of class. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions before I get into like a review of this? Does anybody have anything that they want to ask or any questions? Okay, so again, our midterm is going to be posted at the end of class, and it is due Monday. So it's like 4 to 5 questions, and you have from now until Monday to do that. So that's a lot of time. Also remember, it's open notes, so I hope you guys are taking good notes, right? And all of these lessons are on YouTube too, right? So if you guys are like, dang, I don't know how to do this, well then maybe go back and review the lessons, right? So it's really just to check to make sure that you guys know what we're doing, okay? And you guys in chat or with your microphone, does anybody have any questions about the midterm? So I think I answered the question thing, right? So there's only like 45 questions on it. I can't remember exactly, but I do know it's not a lot because we've only done 3 sections, right? So anybody else? Anybody else have questions, comments? You guys are awfully quiet this morning. All right, I'm trying to give you guys lots of opportunities to ask questions, but no one is asking questions. All right, well, so is this stream working? Can you guys hear me? I'm a little worried because no one's really. Just like what would happen if you didn't turn in an assignment. So if you don't turn it in on Monday, then that would mean that you didn't do the test, right? So if there's an issue where you can't turn it in on Monday, then you should. I'm a bit laggy. Uh-oh. I don't know why I'm laggy, guys. Here, let me do a speed test really quick. Maybe something's going on with my internet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My internet looks like it's not as fast as it should be. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it does this. Okay. Um, one thing that you guys need to know, so someone asked what happens if you don't turn it in Monday. So it would just be like if you don't turn anything on Monday, that means that you wouldn't get credit for it, right? So apparently my internet is bad, so I don't know what's going on. So I can't reset my router now. I'm teaching. So yeah, you need to turn it in. If you guys need extra time or that won't work, then you have to email me. But the expectation is that it's due on Monday. So you get the rest of today, you get Friday, you get Saturday, you get Sunday. So like that's 1, 2, 3, 4 days to do 4 to 5 problems. I think it's very doable and you guys should be able to do it. And again, if you can't, write me an email and we can find out a solution. You just got to let me know, right? If you let me know, then we can work on that. All right, so let's go ahead and yeah, hey guys, I can't reset my modem, so we're in class. So we're just gonna do the best that we have right now, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, but there's nothing really I can do about that. So we'll do the best that we can and we'll keep going. My internet has been working fine all week, so. All right, so taking a look at this, what we're going to do here is first going to take a look at solving by graphing. Okay, so we're going to solve a system by graphing. So what we're going to do is first, a couple of notes, right? Solutions are always, right? Solutions are always x, y, right? And this happens where the lines meet. So this happens where the lines meet. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a bunch of examples of this, and then we're going to we're gonna go over that. So let's do this. Okay. So this first one. So we would want to solve this system by graphing. Okay, I'm gonna freeze that. Oop, that didn't freeze. Okay, so here is an example. You guys don't have to get this down in your notes, but what I want to just point out here is if we take a look at this, we have 2 lines, and what we're looking for, the solution is going to be where they meet, right? Notice see how this is x. Oops, that didn't really work, did it? Right? See how this is x right here? Okay, and then this is the y right here. So we have to figure out, I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then up. So my answer here, right? My answer, so I'd write parentheses, and then I would go, this is 3 to the right, and it is 1 up. Okay, so that's an example of how to solve a system graphically. Okay, so now this is what happens if they give you a question and the 2 lines are already graphed. All you have to do is figure out where are they meeting and then write down that point. So this is the point 3, 1. Okay, and if you guys have questions about this, you can ask in chat or you can turn on your mic and ask a question as well. So the next thing we're going to talk about, and we'll have an opportunity to do this in just a second, is I'm going to. Sorry guys, I don't know why my internet is bad. So the other thing that we're gonna take a look at is what happens if they're not graphed. Okay, so this is what you do if they are graphed. So if they're not graphed, this is what I would do. Here, I'm going to oops, that's not working. Okay, that's not working. Let's go here. Okay. Why is it doing that here? What if I go like this and I say I want to nope. Jeez. Just all sorts of technical issues right here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I would go to Desmos graphing calculator. So if you're having issues with graphing, you can just type in an equation. So like I can type in y equals 2x plus 1. And you guys see how it automatically graphs the line. Okay, and then if you click here at the bottom thing right here, you can go ahead and graph another line. So I could have y equals negative 3x minus 4. Okay, and then what's cool about this is just you can hover over them and it tells you where they meet. Okay, so right here I have they meet at -1, -1. Okay, so just to recap, if they're already graphed, you just look on the graph and say, where do they meet each other? That's your answer. If they're not already graphed, you can go ahead and just use Desmos and you can find the intersection point. Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys there. Does anybody have questions about that? Okay. So no one has questions? All right. Well, let's move on and try out a different one. So if I go like this, so let's have you guys try one and then we'll move on to substitution. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is taking a look at this. You guys can send me a private chat and tell me what the solution for this would be. So send me a direct message and then tell me what the solution would be. So taking a look at this graph, right? We're trying to figure out what the solution should be. So I only have a few people who have given me an answer yet. So make sure you guys do your answer. So in chat, right? Your answer should look something like this, right? We're filling in the blanks. So where do those two lines meet? Okay, so I'm getting some more. Excellent, excellent. You know what's cool is like almost like I like so far all the answers are great, guys. This is really good. Everyone's getting it correct. So hey guys, I have a lot of students in this class. I should be getting a lot more feedback. There's a lot of people here who are not responding. So again, we need to be taking a look at this and we need to be figuring out what are the coordinates of this solution. Okay. So here, let's erase all of this. Now, so let me show you how I would get this solution. So we always start, you guys see that little green dot I put right here? We always start at the origin, right? So what I'm looking for is I want where the lines cross. I want that. So starting at the origin, I go left 2, right? So that's -2. Ooh, that's a terrible 2. And then I go down -2. Right? So this point is going to be -2, right? And we put parentheses around it. And -2. Oof. Right? My handwriting is just as bad as with pencil. Okay, so that's how we would solve that one. Okay, so again, if it's already graphed, then all you need to do is go ahead and figure out where that solution is. Okay, so those are going to be the easy ones on the test. Now, again, if it's not graphed, you can open up Desmos calculator and type in the equations, and then they're graphed for you. It is hard writing with the mouse. It is very difficult, especially my mouse. It's not the nicest mouse in all the world for doing this. Okay, so again, I just really want to stress this. If they're not already graphed, you can use Desmos graphing calculator to graph both of them. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's all I have for graphing, right? Either the system is graphed for you and you can find this, or you want to go ahead and you want to use Desmos graphing calculator to graph the lines. And then with Desmos graphing calculator, you can just hover over the answer. Okay, it's really nice. It's really easy. You guys can do that. Okay. So next, what I want to talk about is substitution. Okay. Oops. Probably helps that I am not on freeze. There we go. And then I'm probably zoomed in. Okay, probably too far out. And then I don't need my drawing anymore. So solving with substitution. So substitution is when we replace. Okay, so I want to do an example substitution for you guys. Okay, so let's do this as an example together. So if I have y equals x minus 4 and negative 2x plus y equals 18. Okay, and then what we're going to do here, remember with substitution, we always start with one variable by itself. Okay, so right here the y is by itself. So we always start with one variable. The red. So in the red here, solving system of equations by graphing. So that's what we were looking at with the graphing ones. So there was two things that happened with graphing, right? Either the graph is already given, right? So in that case, you're just looking where the lines meet, or we were looking at, you can use Desmos graphing calculator to graph the two lines, and then you can just take a look at where they meet by hovering over it. Okay, so that's what we were talking about in the red, solving by graphing, right? So with graphing, you're just looking at where they cross and you're doing it that way. Okay, does that answer your question? Right, so with solving systems by graphing, right, the solution's going to be a point. This happens where the lines meet. So you're just looking at where do the two lines meet, and if they're already so I'm not hearing back if I answered your question or not. So I just want to make sure, right? So by graphing, you just look for when the two lines meet, right? So if I had a graph and I had a line and a line, right, the solution is where they meet. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, please let me know. Okay, so solving by substitution, right, we always start with one variable. So I have y equals this, and what's going to happen is the y is already solved for. So if y equals x minus 4, then everywhere I see a y, I can replace it with x minus 4. So I would take this bottom equation, and I would have negative 2x plus, and then I would have x minus 4 equals 18. And this used to be my y, right? So I took this, and I got a new one right there. Okay? And what this does, and we've been working on this, is we've been doing one equation, one variable. Okay? So we can solve this now. So if I have a negative 2x and an x, I have negative x minus 4 equals 18. And then I have plus 4 and then plus 4 like that. So I get negative x equals 4 plus 18 is going to be 22. And then it's a negative, so if I divide by negative 1, the negatives go away, but on the right side, I get a negative. Okay, so there's my x. So again, with substitution, one of our variables is already solved for. We're going to replace that variable every time we see it, right? So if y equals x minus 4, every time I see a y, I can replace it with x minus 4. Okay, but we're not done yet because I have to find my solution. So we're going to plug it back in again. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my x equals negative 22, and I'm going to plug it back in to x. So I'm going to get y equals, and then I have negative 22, and then minus 4. And this used to be my x, right? So okay, so again, I have one unknown, and I can go ahead and I can solve for it. So I'm going to, negative 22 minus 4, right? So I know sometimes we mess up our negatives. So remember, a calculator is really useful. So negative 22 minus 4, so that is, what do we got here? Let's do it in red. Y equals negative 26, okay? So then we just have to write our answer as a point. So we're going to have negative 22 and negative 26. Okay, so now that we did one in review, I'm going to have you guys try one and see if you guys have questions. Okay, so does anybody have questions before we move on with this? So with substitution, right, one variable is already. Thank you for responding. I appreciate that. So I have y equals this. I'm replacing it. I solve, plug it back in, solve. Okay. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. I'm not too keen on keyboard emojis. Okay, so let's have you guys try this one on your own. Okay, so try on your own. Let's see, what problem did I pick up here? This one. So we're going to have 3x minus 5y equals 13, and we're gonna have y, I'm gonna have x equals 10 minus 4y. Okay, and I want to make sure you guys have enough time to try this, so I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes. Okay, and I'll start that in just a second so you guys can have some time to copy down this problem. So it's 3x minus 5y equals 13, and then x equals 10 minus 4y. So let's see what happens. Let's give that a start. Again, if you have questions, please let me know. So guys, just a heads up, it looks like my YouTube stream stopped. So I do have a recorded version and I'll be uploading it to YouTube later today. It's just going to take a bit longer than it being instantly up. Sorry about that. All right, hey guys, let's take a look at this and see what we got. If it's taking you longer than 3 minutes to do this, like you're like, hey, I need more time, then we should take a look at what you're getting stuck on, and let's try to figure out a solution for that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look for is a variable that's already solved for. Absolutely, absolutely. No need to ask. Just remember, when you go to, if you miss anything, to check YouTube. So right here, so if I have this is already solved for, then that means x equals this. If you have colored pens at home, it's really nice. If not, you can do this with a pencil. I think it helps out a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that x with this. So I'm going to have 3, and then I have times 10 minus 4y, and then minus 5y equals 13. Okay. So now I have one equation, one variable. I can go ahead and I can solve for this. So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute that 3. So I'm going to have 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12y. And then the minus 5y stays the same, and then I get 13. Then I'm going to combine like terms because it's all on one side. So negative 12 and negative 15, I'm right. So we're combining them. So what do I get? I get 30 minus 27y equals 13, right? We're going to get more negative because I have a negative and then I'm taking more away. It's like I owe someone $12 and then I owe them another $5. So I owe $27. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for this now because everything is right reduced on the left and the right. So this is a positive 30. So I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. These are some awkward numbers, aren't they? They definitely didn't give us the nicest of numbers. So calculator will take care of that for me. So I get negative 27. Y equals negative 17. Did I do everything correctly here? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, that's exactly. I know I did something wrong. This right here. Yeah, what did I do? I did 12 plus 15. Did you guys see that in my calculator? Yeah. I did. I added them wrong. Do you guys see this? Oh my gosh. Thanks for helping me out, guys. Negative 12 plus negative 5 is negative 17. So this should be a 1. I was like, dang, we're gonna get some really ugly numbers here, right? My red flags were going off like crazy. All right, so I'm gonna have 17 there. So then I'm gonna go ahead and divide both sides by negative 17. So I get y equals, well, this is gonna go in once. Okay, like that. All right, sorry guys, I made a mistake. I'm still trying to figure out my internet. Hopefully the stream has gotten better. So then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna plug it back in. So I'm gonna get x equals 10 minus 4 times and then 1, right? So this was, right, this was my y. So negative 4 times 1 is just negative 4. 10 minus 4 is x equals 6. So my answer here is going to be 6, 1. Like that. Yeah, yeah, sorry about the internet. That's just frustrating. Okay. So, how are you guys feeling about this? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling like you need help? Is there something I did that didn't work? How can I help you guys? Because the problem on the midterm is going to be just like this. How did I get 6? So I took this bottom equation because x is already solved for. We know y is 1, right? So what I did is I replaced the y with 1. Do you see how here next to that negative 4 is now a 1? So, and you can do this all at once in a calculator if you want, right? So, and if you don't have a physical calculator, Desmos is fine. So I have 10 and then minus 4 and then I have 1. And if you do that all in a calculator at once, you get 6, right? So negative 4 times 1 is just negative 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. Did that help out with how I got the 6? How I took my answer here and I plugged it back in? Yeah. Okay, I'm so glad you asked. Thank you. All right, anybody else have any questions or concerns or? All right, so since no one is saying anything that they're getting stuck, we're gonna move on to elimination. Okay, so elimination, right? We look for opposites, for opposite terms. And then we add the two equations to get a new one that we can solve. Okay, so we're going to look for opposite terms, then we're going to add the two equations to get a new one that we can solve. Okay, so again, we're going to first look for opposite terms, then add two equations to get a new one that we can go ahead and solve. So let's do an example of this so that you can have an example to go with the words. I picked out a couple of problems that were really good one. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to have x plus 3y equals 1, and I'm going to have 5x plus 6y equals 14. Okay, now when we do this, there's more than one way to solve this problem, okay? And with this one, there's actually two that will make sense. So right here, we're going to look for opposites. So I look for an opposite here. Okay, right? The opposite of x is negative x. This is 5. The opposite of 5 would be negative 5. So these aren't opposites. And these aren't opposites either. Okay? So the trick here is when you don't have opposites, okay, when you don't have opposites, then what you need to do is you need to multiply by one of them to get opposites. So we could either get the opposite of 5x or we could get the opposites of 6y. So you guys tell me in chat, do you want to find the opposite of x or the opposite of y? What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to do x or y first? So in chat, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to do the x or do you want to do the y? So it's split 50-50 right now. I got half the people saying x, half being y. Who's gonna decide the vote? All right, so we're gonna go with x. Okay, so what's the opposite of 5x? Negative 5x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top by negative 5. And what I'm gonna end up with, negative 5x, right? So negative 5 times x is negative 5x. 5 times 3 is 15, but it's negative, so it's going to be negative 15y, and then equals negative 5, and then the bottom equation stays the same. Okay, so now take a look. These are opposite. Okay. Now, on the test, wink, 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 some of the questions might already be opposite. Wouldn't that be really nice? Okay, so we're doing the worst case scenario here. So once you have an opposite, right? So sometimes this step isn't necessary, but once we have an opposite, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these equations together. So I'm going to make sure I don't make any mistakes this time. So I'm going to go, remember, we add in columns. So I think it's better if the light's over here. So negative 5 plus 14. So I get 9. And then negative 15y plus, so I have negative 15 plus 6. So that's going to be negative 9y. And then these, that goes to 0. Right? That's the whole point of the opposite. When we add opposites, we get to 0. So we did a little bit extra work here, but now this is really easy to solve. I divide both sides by negative 9, and I get y equals negative 1. Okay? That's what's new with elimination, right? So with elimination, if they're not opposite, we just multiply one of our equations. We get the opposites, we add. Okay? Everything after this is exactly the same. So I'm going to have to plug this back into one of my equations. So in chat, can you guys tell me? I'm going to plug in negative 1 into one of these equations. Which one do you want to do? The top or the bottom? Can you guys just type in top or bottom or bot? Right? So here I can write the answers down, right? So top or bot. Okay, so I'm getting some feedback. Does anybody else want to weigh in? All right, so it's looking like the top is winning. So I'm going to plug this into the top. So it's for my y. So my x stays the same. And then I'm going to have 3 times negative 1. And then that equals 1. Okay, so again, this used to be my y. right? But now I know my y is negative 1. So let's take a look. Negative 1 times 3. So that's the same as saying x minus 3 equals 1. So then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I'm going to get x equals 4. So then my answer then is 4, negative 1. Okay. So with that said, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have questions about what we did with the elimination? I know in the past, a lot of people who at least shared with me said they really liked elimination, but a lot of you guys aren't really participating in class, so I don't know how a lot of you guys are doing. Does anybody have questions, or is this okay? Again, remember, you guys have today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to work on your midterm, and if you guys need to, you can come back to this video. Right? All right. So our last thing that I want to do today is I want you guys to try one of these out on your own. Okay? So do you guys have this down? Does anybody need a little bit more time to write this down or have any questions before I move on? All right. I'm going to move on then. Okay. So this is the last thing that we're going to, this is a try on your own. Okay, so to try on our own, I have a problem here, sorry. I was gonna pick this one. So here's the problem that I want you guys to try. So x plus y equals 4, and negative 3x minus y equals negative 8. And I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to do this, but I don't think it's going to take 3 minutes. But I want to give you guys that 3 minutes just in case. All right, guys. So we are going to go over this. If you guys have questions, please let me know. And then we're going to finish class right after this because I have to reset my modem and my router for my next class. All right. So here we go. What I noticed right off the bat is that these are opposite. Right? And if you have opposites, you don't need to do anything. Now, if you multiplied the top by 3 to get these to be opposite, that's totally fine. You can get the same answer, okay? I'm just going to do this one right here. So if you multiplied everything on the top by 3, that's a completely good way of doing things. So I'm going to go ahead and add here. So 4 plus negative 8 is negative 4. This goes to 0. And then x minus 3x is negative 2x, right? Because that's 1 plus a negative 3. Okay, the 0 here doesn't really matter. So I have negative 2 times x. I divide by negative 2. I get x equals, it's a negative and a negative, so I'm going to get a positive. Okay, does anybody have questions about that? Okay. Yep, go ahead and rejoin if you need to. Here, I'm going to check my audio. Sounds like audio is working on my end. Okay. Then, so then what we're going to do here is we're going to have to plug this back into one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the top. Okay. So what do I get? I get x. Oops. That is my x, right? So I got my x is 2, right? This used to be my x. And then plus y equals 4, right? So I'm just plugging into the top. So now I'm going to solve for y. And then I subtract 2 like this, and I get y equals 2. So my answer is 2, 2. Okay. Now, with this, so you didn't get what I did with, are you talking about with the y plus negative y? Did anybody do this with the x's? Do you want me to do it that way? Would that be beneficial? Does anybody want me to solve it by multiplying the top by 3? What do you guys think? Do you guys want me to do that? Okay, I'll do that. So if I multiply the top by 3, this is what I would get. I get 3x plus 3y equals 3 times 4 is 12, and then the bottom would stay the same. Okay, so the top here is multiplied by 3, right? So then I would go ahead and add these now because these are opposite. So I'd get, if I add, right, going like this, so 12 minus 8, right? So 12 minus 8, so I'm going to get 4. 3 minus 1 is 2, and then this is 0. So I divide by 2, I get y equals 2. And then I'm going to want to plug this back in. I still think the top equation is the easiest one to use. So I'd go x plus, and then my y now is 2, right? This used to be my y. And then that equals 4. So I go ahead, I subtract 2 from both sides. I get x equals 2. So I get 2, 2. So again, it doesn't matter which way you do it. You should be getting the same answer. Okay? Hey guys, it is 9:50, so unfortunately my YouTube stream didn't work. So I'm going to have to upload this manually, and that takes a bit longer to do. So I guarantee though it will be up by the end of the day. Your midterm is posted now. You have until Monday to do it. It is a Google form. So with Google form, you have to submit when you have all your answers. So if you just want to work on it, don't hit submit. So you can work on it, do your work on a piece of paper, and then when you're done with everything, do all your answers and then submit. So if you want to work on it for a long time, don't submit it, right? So it's going to submit it once you have all your answers, right? So, and it's not going to save if you put your answers in it and then leave. So make sure that you do your work and keep track of your work on a piece of paper and then put all your answers into it at once. Oh yeah, and get your assignments done. Okay? Now, and if you guys have any issues with the midterm, email me, let me know, and we'll figure it out. Okay? All right,